Shalom, 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 shalom. Tawab, Bawakwa, good morning. Shalom, Laha, Alahayim, peace to the gods. Nawadan, Kal, Halalyam, La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ahasham, Hamashayat, Yahweh Ahasham, Racha, HaKodash, giving all praises to our Father, Yahweh, in the name of the anointed, Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Another quick hit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this is edifying unto the elect. So as you can see in the topic, all right, this is going to be a Black Adam, movie review, and it is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it and you do want to go see it, unless you don't mind spoilers, but I would wait to listen to this video or go watch it. But this is a very spiritual movie, man. I mean, anybody else, is going to take it like any other, superhero type movie or whatever. But those of the elect, when you want to balance out from Esau and get some entertainment, so to speak, but still be able to filter things through the scriptures, this is a good movie. All right. So I'm gonna just run through it. I'm gonna start paraphrasing a couple of scriptures that's to go with it. But I'm gonna start out first that Amalek, the ones who run the Hollywood industry, right? All right, your Edomites, right? But the chief tribe specifically, they the ones that own all the movie production, the distribution, the production centers. They the ones that do the casting. They the ones that are the directors. They're the ones that are the producers, executive producers, so on and so forth. All right, they make money off of movies. However, they put in certain agendas underlyingly in their movies, because just like when you read a book, just like when you watch a movie, just like when you listen to a song, all right, always try to keep in mind what is the creator of this piece trying to convey unto his audience, right? What is the demographic he's trying to reach? What is the theme? Where's his mindset at? The one that wrote the song, the one that wrote the script. When you're playing it out and you editing it, oh, I want this in there and I want this in there, right? So with that being said, using one of the biggest actors at this point in time right now, which is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Now, a lot of people, based on how he looks, because he's, you could say an Israelite foreigner because of the fact that he doesn't necessarily look like your typical Israelite, your typical, he, balds his head and cuts off his beard anyway. But his father is Judah and his mother was a Japhetic woman. either a Samoan, I think it's Samoan. All right. So he's an Israelite. So one, they're using him, and that's one of the main reasons why he's so good at acting anyway. Right. But, you know, of course, the title grabs you, right? Black Adam. Now, when we go into the scriptures, you know, right in the what is that? The second book of Genesis. All right, the Most High will really, you know, well, I'll have to go into it because that's the first time that the name of the Father was mentioned, Lord God in all capitals, right? Because before that it was just God, and we know that's talking about the angels, right? You know, with Yahweh Shai, because they was given the blueprint from Yahweh to create everything. But Adam was made out of, you know, the ground. We know that, you know, the soil, all right, is shades of brown. So already Amalek is trying to do a play on words with the whole Black Adam, right? But in the movie, they're trying to use this is why we don't even use the word black right now. And it's funny, Black Adam, right? And then they try to call us what? BHI, Black Hebrew Israelites, right? Because he's not coming with the same notion of your Superman type. And I'll get into the whole Superman thing later on. But the whole Superman type of mentality, you know, that so-called white savior, you know what I mean? Don't kill anybody, blah, blah, blah. You know, so they're trying to make him villainous, but to be a superhero, but he's not a hero, because most of the movie for real is like a background story, you know, on how he got into this point, and it goes into reincarnation heavy. You see what I'm saying? Which is biblical. Okay, people, you know, reincarnate. You know, you die, the spirit goes back into the spirit world to the one who created it. Fucking goddamn. My fucking. Oh man, son, we good. But yeah, to the one who created it, and the Most High judges. You know, that spirit puts it back down to the second and third, the third or fourth generation. It's like, yeah, my gym bag and all of that. Third or fourth generation, in order to, you know, back into your tribe or to your nation, all right, to act out your judgment. It talks about this in Ecclesiastes. But already they letting you know that, you know, because in the world they would try to teach you that Adam in the scriptures, you know, and the rest of the prophets and the angels, you know, were so-called white people, which they was not, right? So that's a play on that right there. That's one, right? And then two, if you remember in the New Testament, it talks about that, you know, the second Adam, right? Meaning the first Adam who brought, you know, sin into the world, you know, and the second Adam is basically going to, you know, free us, you know, from, you know, that curse, so to speak, of death. And we all know that that's Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation. So if you see the movie, it's pretty much onto that type of thing as well, you know, and how they kept pushing, especially in the beginning, that he comes from like that slave race, you know, and it's funny because most movies or, you know, any type of animation, anything like that, it always tends to be the most powerful or the best liberation story, so to speak, when somebody of the so-called slave race, you know, comes and comes for his people. So again, that lets you know that Yahweh Shah only came for his people when you really start to see how they want to, you know, portray the movie. because the other thing that I had in my head was Dragon Ball Z, right? The Saiyans, the Super Saiyans. They were a line of princes, of kings. However, they were slaves, unto Frieza. If the history behind it. But so in it, slave race, reincarnation, the gods, so to speak, looked upon him and gave him, these magical powers or whatever, that he can summon by saying the word Shazam. And basically he's indestructible at that point. Other than, kind of like Superman with kryptonite, there's this mineral or gemstone called Eternium, right? Kind of has the word eternal in there. And, making weapons out of that, you're able to kind of like inflict some damage on them or whatever. But the main one of the main things that I thought that was crazy in there, because in the backstory he's fighting the king, right? And the king was oppressing him, and that reminded me of Isaiah 14. You know what I'm saying? We was in the Black Adam. Basically, him and his people are the Israelites. You see, the people that was on top, the kind of me was like the Babylonians, but we can refer to right now, Esau, right? But that king that was oppressing his people, and then he he died, and his son died or whatever, and it's a lot of like mixing, because they was mixing powers and mixing bodies, that type of thing. But when they like reincarnated the king, so to speak, his last descendant, there was a last descendant of that guy or whatever, and they put the upside down pentagram, like the Baphomet type of thing, and he got the horns, and he got all his powers because he was summoned from hell or whatever. So it was like this so-called battle. I don't want to say good and evil, because they still kind of like putting the Rock to be like some evil kind of guy, or he's willing to kill and he don't care what nobody think about it, and he's not a hero. And the reason why I even brought that part up is because like there's some type of tinge to like the Palestinian refugee notion of trying to be liberated, because in the beginning there was like, before Babylon, before the pyramids, there was Kondak, and it looked like some type of Middle East. It's in the East, Middle East type thing, and how their land and their resources got plundered by the invaders or whatever. So they're living in their own land, but these big military guys got all the occupation of the land, and they needed a so-called liberator, like like a messiah figure, right? Um, but to me, it was like they was pushing the notion of rioting, because they was like to rile the people up, you know, after one guy get, it's like violent, and like that's what we need by force. So again, with everything going on right now, with even the Kanye situation, with a lot of things that is being put to the forefront on the oppression of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, we got to be aware of Satan's devices, and we are not ignorant of it, right? Like the scriptures say. So, we're not a violent on this side, right? Because we're really waiting. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, Exodus 15:3. but this is not his kingdom. Yahweh Shah said, if this was my kingdom, then my servants will fight, right? So because you got in the point, like, in the script, in the movie, he comes back and there was a legend and there was books, and it's all it's literally they're trying to mimic the scriptures, man, and throw that in there, right? People waiting on the Messiah basically to come, always in the books. They the ones that's getting oppressed, and they don't have that image of somebody like helping them out, so to speak, to destroy the enemy. And that's what it was. You know what I mean? A so-called liberating type figure, but he's coming to put niggas to death because that's what Black Adam was on. You know what I mean? He wasn't no Superman. Don't kill nobody. So, and then you got the Greek mythology thing in there too. Like the Zeus type of with the lightning bolt, and the what would you call it? Like the multiple gods thing, and this and that and the third, because they made a little quote that reminded me in my head. They said one of the people, because and it's funny because there was mad people that they had in these little like water slave type prisons or some shit where, and I don't know, had to have been superheroes. You see what I'm saying? Because they showed him in it when he gave up his powers, kind of like how they wanted to do Superman. Basically, they're like, yo, the people see you a threat, right? We can't have this threat here, so surrender yourself or we're going to kill you. Basically, you know what I mean? So eventually they kind of proved to him to a certain extent, how he can't handle his power. So, just hibernate yourself under our conditions and shit. And then they showed mad at him, and I don't know what they meant by the rest of them. You know what I mean? But eventually they still looked upon him to the same people that they used the Justice Society to put him in prison, so to speak, is the ones that they one of them found out that only him could beat that new demon Baphomet upside down pentagram descendant, last living descendant of that king of, like, Kandak, or I'll say Babylon for real. You know what I mean? So but yeah, like the you could just tell that they're watching the prophets. I'll put it like that. Because this movie, it takes what 2 or 3 years to make a movie and all of that. We go back around that time. This is a time where people was, a new kind of awakening when this, pandemic started. You know what I mean? And especially after what's the name died with the whole Black Panther thing, and how that was, trying to push light onto the Israelites with the because this new one looking crazy. I thought they had the Northern Kingdom in there, but it looked like them they fighting. You got your Aztecs that live underwater kind of thing, and they kind of fighting the Southern Kingdom, which would be your Wakandians or whatever. So a bunch of confusion. Then there's a bunch of feminism and all women in there. So Black Adam is kind of like taking over that whole, even though Chadwick Boseman had that more, black look or whatever. But Palestinian shit, but it's really, if you could read between the lines, it's really dealing with, who, right? Us, the Israelites or whatever. So that we gonna get spiritual power, and they know that, it's gonna be ain't gonna be no like super. I ain't gonna put nobody to death. Yahweh Shah said he's gonna turn Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to turn fishers into hunters, man. Right? So right now, we fishing, meaning we're bidding everybody, to the marriage of marriage feast of Yahweh Shai, the elect, he's going to give them new bodies. And then, there's going to be a lot of, put in wicked ass niggas and the rest of that, enemies to death. And then, rank. So, but, it's, there's a bunch of symbolism, you know what I mean? No, because in the beginning, he was the guy that was like, nah, just, let's just be slaves, you feel me? And his son was like, nah, like, we need to rise up, you know. And then his son do a little something, and then the people looked up to him. But then eventually, the gods was like, yeah, he's the right kind of spirit. They gave him the power, but then they tried to kill his family, so they came after him. His son gave him his powers, so to speak. So he died, you know. So the what's the name? It ain't going through too good right now, the reception or whatever. I'm headed to plantation anyway. You see what I'm saying? They kind of, like I said, are trying to equate that whole Palestinian and getting they land occupied. You know what I mean? But we all know, it's talking about the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it at that, though. You know what I mean? Without going throughout the whole movie and all of that. Oh, well, I'll say this. So at the end, you wait till after the credits, right? And at the end, they got that little clip. So the people was like, listen, you by yourself, you can't leave out this space. And imagine the whole beast system, like, you can't do this and do that. But he was like, all right, anybody you try to do this and then the third, they gonna get killed. Like, I'm not your superhero. So they was like, I got somebody that could kill you. And he was like, anybody on this planet, nobody's stronger than me on this planet. And they was like, I got somebody stronger from another planet. And then Superman woke up. So Superman and Black Adam right there in front of each other. You know what I mean? So you got because they're trying to make The Rock look dark, a dark hero villain type thing, and then the Superman, white savior type of thing, you know. So they, I, underlyingly, I'm like, yo, they're trying to demonize Yahweh. They know Yahweh Shah's coming back to be put in. That's what's the name? Putting a lot of niggas to death, right? So I think they're trying to demonize it, with the whole Black Adam thing, because he's supposed to be like a Yahweh Shai type character. You know what I mean? Um, but they want that chaos too, because they want the order out of chaos, right? The elect. To the next time, I'm gonna say shalom.